G'day guys and gal! Warhammer 40k has a lot of themes running through it. Some of them are subtle, such as doing the most ethical thing isn't always the right thing to do. Others are more obvious. Hypocrisy is shoved in your face on the daily in the universe of 40k. Most psykers are put into death camps, despite mankind's god being the most powerful psyker ever. Mortarion pledged himself against the warp and tyrants, then he became a warp-infused tyrant. The Imperium has outlawed artificial intelligence, yet will gleefully jerk off a toaster in an effort to appease its machine spirit, aka its AI. I mean, considering literally nearly every single piece of human tech, from lowly pistols all the way to titans and spaceships, has a machine spirit, it's kinda hard to avoid, but you get what I mean. Before we get started, I have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is that the Majorkill Terminator Lord has been discontinued. There's a variety of reasons why that I'm not gonna get into, but farewell, big boy, you were a pleasure to snort. The good news is that to replace the holies left in our hearts, I'm bringing back the space button. However, to avoid dogging the legends who bought him as the limited edition 300k subscriber merch, the returned space button loses the sideways plume helmet variant as well as the sword variant. That still leaves 2 heads and 2 weapons in one purchase, so not bad. He also loses all references to 300k subscribers and Majorkill, so if you were one of the people to get the limited edition version, it'll always be easy to point out. The space button standard edition will be added to the STL pack for free to those who have bought it already, so there you go. Today we'll go over the lore of the machine spirits, what their origins are, the extent of their sentience, notable machine spirit highlights, and why the Imperium embraces them yet they shit the bed when you mention real AI. Let's get into it. Before we get into where they came from, it's important to distinguish the difference between the hated AI and the beloved machine spirit. It pretty much comes down to the level of critical thinking and independence the machine has. A true AI could operate entirely without human control, making complex decisions and having the ability to act on them. In Warhammer, an AI is literally a person. A machine spirit, on the other hand, is like a dog. Sure, you can let him loose and he might end up biting a pedophile or two while off the lead. Side note, I 100% believe dogs can detect pedos. However, a dog relies on its owner for food, training, walks, and other things. They also can't make their own complex decisions or have a high degree of sentience. Here, hopefully this frames it better. If you see a human walking a dog on a leash, it's cute. If you see a human walking another human on a leash, it's fucking weird. That's kinda like how people of Warhammer see it. I've already covered AI, or Men of Iron as they're known, in their own video, so let's now direct the focus solely on our loyal and much cuter machine spirits. Their origins aren't exactly set in stone, but it doesn't seem like they've been present for the entirety of humanity's existence. For example, it's unlikely that they were a thing during the Dark Age of technology, where mankind hit its technological peak and had a bunch of true AIs that hadn't gone all Skynet on them yet. As that was a time of science and progress, I'd bet my left nut they weren't blowing incense on their PCs to help turn them on. It seems that only after true AI was outlawed and everyone became a lot more superstitious did the machine spirits begin to materialize. I do need to note, however, that Inquisitor Eisenhorn once touched the machine spirit of a Chaos Titan, and he witnessed the Age of Strife and even snippets of the Dark Age from doing so. So either this was just a bit of a lore mistake, or machine spirits started to become active during the same time human psykers started popping up. After all Titans are said to be inferior designs of the true AI Titans from the Dark Age, so there is something to it. So that leaves us with 3 genuine origins for machine spirits. Either A, due to lots of people believing machine spirits are real, the warp's influence on real space has made them real, like the power of belief. B, which is what I personally believe, is that the machine spirits are small aspects of the Void Dragon, who is currently still in a coma under Mars. The Void Dragon was known for its ability to build and create technological wonders, so its consciousness could easily leak into the machinery built by the Mechanicus. Or C, the machine spirits are not supernatural, but rather a very basic form of AI that the tech priests are capable of coding and maintaining. It could be all 3 of these. So how does a machine spirit actually affect the machine it inhabits? Well, it depends. Small items, such as guns or even power armor, barely feel the effects of their machine spirits. It could be as simple as an angry machine spirit causing a gun to jam when it shouldn't have. or firing with 5% more stability when it's pleased. It's not even entirely clear if these low-level machine spirits can get angry or happy, with the rituals to appease them often being just genuine maintenance, and not just a whole lot of oiling and chanting. You can even say that the machine spirits in weapons and small machines are just superstition, having little to no impact. It is important to note, however, that there are instances of well-forged and revered swords acting on their own volition. Eisenhorn's sword, Barbarossator, would often save his life by manipulating his movements. For him to defeat the significantly more powerful Inquisitor Quixos, Barbarossator actually broke itself, allowing Eisenhorn to slip past Quixos's guard and shank his ass. It's unclear if this was a rare instance of a sword with a machine spirit due to it being forged on a world where swords are given more rights and respect than minorities, or if the blade was psychically imbued, allowing the psychic Eisenhorn to form a bond with it. However, when we start looking at more complex machines, such as land raiders, knights, titans, or spaceships, the existence of a machine spirit gets undeniably obvious. It's relatively common for land raiders that lose their crew to just say, fuck it, and keep firing and driving themselves. This is what happened with Rin's Might. It was so pissed off at those fucking orcs that it full Leroy Jenkins'd at them, running them over and shooting them until its guns were dry. Then it baited them close to it, and when they got close enough, it overloaded its reactors and blew up a shitload of orcs, including a war boss. Allah would be proud. This is quite the exception though. Generally, a rogue machine spirit controlled land raider won't be as efficient, tactical, or effective as if it was crewed. Titans and spaceship machine spirits are capable of communicating via speaking, which is where the line between cute machine spirits and asshole AI starts to become a little bit blurred, especially since these complex machine spirits can be corrupted by chaos, just like AI can be. The machine spirits of Titans are so powerful and passionate that they can often overpower the will of their pilots, taking complete control and recklessly charging into battle, such as like what happened during the Siege of Hell's Reach. I suppose the main thing that distinguishes an AI from a complex machine spirit is that machine spirits are kinda fucking stupid. They don't think very far ahead and they act on impulse. They also can't operate without their pilots for long, hence the whole overpowering and making their pilots brain dead just so they can try punch an orc gargan in the face is an example of going full retard. Never go full retard. It's the power of these machine spirits which is why Titan Princeps are so rare. No amount of training can make someone a Princeps. You gotta be born to it, then train your whole life. After you join with your Titan, your lifespan decreases dramatically. Firstly, because you're now the biggest target on a battlefield that includes shit like this, but also because piloting a Titan literally sucks the life out of you. Needless to say, the health insurance premiums for a Princeps are fucking rough. For spaceships, it's a whole nother ballgame. Whilst the machine spirit of a ship doesn't do too much in regards of when to shoot, when to turn, and all that other stuff, it's heavily involved in the traversing of the warp. When a ship's navigator plugs in to begin guiding the ship through the Sea of Souls, they come in direct contact with the machine spirit. This can either be a pretty chill experience, such as when dealing with a rogue trader merchant ship, or it can be fucking horrible, like when Octavius the Navigator was kidnapped by the Night Lords and forced to plug into their corrupted ships. The ship called her a bitch and told her to suck its spiky metal dick. She replied, "Lick my clit, you fuck," and was able to navigate the ship with a lot of difficulty. That's not exactly word for word how the conversation went down, but it may as well have been. It's a lot like that Love, Death and Robots episode, Lucky 13, where the ship seemed to have its own sentience, letting its crew die if it didn't like them, but going above and beyond when it found a pilot it liked. Very similar case here. What about Xenos? Does their technology have machine spirits? Not really, but also kinda. The Tau use basic AI and occasionally create digital copies of Tau brains when they need something more advanced. They don't believe that the machine spirits are actually spirits, and any maintenance they do to them is purely to keep them running from a scientific standpoint, not just to finger their PowerPoint holes. The Eldest technology is largely based around Wraithbone, which is psychically conductive material. It does seem to be alive, but only to a degree of a plant, rather than the animalistic machine spirit. The Wraithbone can be connected to the Spirit Stones, allowing Wraith units to operate using the souls of the dead. So whilst this does seem quite machine spirity, it is a bit different. The Orcs' technology relies on the power of their Wah, which basically means that if they believe their gun can shoot, then it generally can. So whilst the gun itself doesn't have a sentience or spirit, it relies on warp fuckery to operate. If anything, you could say that Orc tech relies way more on superstition than Imperial tech. After all, if an atheist and a tech priest both shoot you in the head, you'll die either way. The Necrons don't give a shit about hocus pocus. They don't really use the warp, and as such don't rely on any technology that could decide it was having a bad day and shit the bed. After all, a Necron is technically an AI, so not much point using an inferior one. Machine spirits are one of those things that GW deliberately leaves ambiguous. I don't blame them, it's already a difficult concept to wrap your head around. It would be pretty funny though if it ended up being that all machine spirits were a small manifestation of the Void Dragon's will, meaning the Imperium has been relying on a Xeno to function. That would definitely get the hush-hush by the Inquisition. That theory isn't even too far-fetched though. The Mechanicus believes that machine spirits are a manifestation of the Omnissiah, and it's basically confirmed that the Omnissiah is the Void Dragon, so they themselves already believe that theory. Maybe the Emperor didn't put the Void Dragon under Mars just to rapidly accelerate mankind's technological progress. Maybe he did it so that one day machine spirits could manifest, allowing for obscenely powerful weapons such as Titans to exist. Oh Emperor, you cheeky monkey. Either way, fuck AI. Machine spirit is my new homie. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. Only $1 per month give you access to a boatload of Battle Mace 40 million titties. Hit the subscribe button and hit the real subscribe button for more spiritual content. Join the Discord for more memes and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.